smallest unit of society, and whatever happens in society is basically a reflection of what happens on the home front. So I know that you're married, you have children. How has it been for you being a parent?
So I would say it's been a blessing. Um, Children would always be a blessing and a gift,
Mhm.
from God. Of course, you have those growing pains with children as they're growing. They become more opinionated. And generally, I would say that it's been really good. I enjoy being a mother. So yeah.
Do you have moments where you're like, these children are doing my head in?
Of course,
Do
of course.
you want to share?
There. When you say moments, it's like all the time. You understand? I think they're just at their age,
Mhm.
and sometimes I look at them and just be like, God, these children have sort of like become me. Oh." You
Mhm.
understand? So it's
Yeah.
like a reflection. You understand?
Mhm.
Of course, because of the age they're at the moment,
Mhm.
they have opinions,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
So it's like, I want you to do this,
Mhm.
and they want to know why.
Yeah.
You have to give them
A
reasons.
reason.
You
Yeah.
understand? Sometimes it's annoying, but I do smile about it as well, because I know that I'm raising strong,
Mhm.
kids that you cannot just push about.
Mhm.
You understand? They are asking the right
Yeah.
questions, before they do things.
Mhm.
But my own ask to them is that you do it, but you do it politely.
Yeah.
You understand? You don't do it rudely
Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, I do get those headaches, especially when they have their exams and tests. There's a lot of
Yeah. The homework person, I mean.
exactly. But generally, it's been a blessing,
Mm.
really, and I can't complain. I shouldn't complain. So
Okay.
yeah.
We are on YouTube at WFM 917, and you can listen to us on the go as you're going on the road rather, in your vehicles, www.wfm917.com. Also, the phone lines are open if you want to speak to our CEO, or 7000 or 800 to come, and maybe you want to complain about your children. It's okay. This is a safe space. They do used to try us sometimes. You can call us as well. But today we're going to be talking about, the Global Parents Day from a different perspective, because while some of us are able to look at our children in the morning, in the afternoon, whatever time of the day it is, you wake up and you give your children kisses before they go to school. There's some parents who have been looking for their children, who have been expecting their children to be back home. Today is day 17 since or your children have had been abducted. I I try not to think about what may be happening to those kids right
Yeah.
now. There was a video that I had been avoiding watching, but somebody was doing a video about this kind of conversation as well, and then had inserted, and I was like, oh God, I was avoiding this, where those children were being tortured.
Yeah.
What would you like? How do you feel about that as a parent, knowing that their children as young as two,
Yeah.
somewhere in the forest, you know, with no parents, probably crying for their parents. Or they saw their parents in the morning and now they've not seen them. Like, what would you say to that? How does that make you feel as a parent?
So for me, it's been extremely emotional in the sense that every day I'm sort of like hugging and kissing my children like 20 times over there,
Mm-hmm.
wondering what is wrong with this woman? Why is she
Mm-hmm.
hugging and kissing me?
Mm-hmm.
Um, for me, it's been very difficult to watch
Mm-hmm.
those videos or look at those pictures. Each time I come across them, I sort of like flip, and it's not because I don't care. It's just like I get so emotional because I saw that you have kids as young as 2 years old. Do
Hmm.
you understand? 2 years old. Sometimes they're even still on
That's a
milk.
baby and
Just what I'm
diaper.
saying.
Mm-hmm.
Diaper, there's no attention in
Mm-hmm.
terms of sleeping,
Mm-hmm.
eating, all those kind of things. So it's horrific for any parent to go through that. Even auntie, do you understand? To go through that kind of, torture, right? Um, Generally, I am sad, right? I am angry, because this is just a reflection of where we are now today as Nigerians.
Mm-hmm.
I'm angry because um, I feel powerless. All right.
Mm.
What can I do to help without putting myself at arm's risk?
Risk,
Do you
yeah.
understand what I'm saying? Um, do we sit down and wait for the politicians to respond? You know, what can we do? I mean, we had a meeting today in the office, and I was asking these questions that as individuals and citizens, it's not that like we don't care, right? We do care, but we are helpless. What can we do? Are we supposed to drive down to the bushes by ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
and probably die in the process,
Mm-hmm.
and nobody will even care? You understand that? What can we do as citizens aside this, constant awareness and reposting, and pushing the necessary people that we need to push? So back to your question, it's been very depressing, and sad, and I'm just praying that this doesn't end up like the Chibok
Yeah.
girls, and I'm praying that we can get the teachers, the students, the babies
Mm-hmm.
back to their parents
Mm-hmm.
in good condition.
Yeah, that really is the prayer. Would you say that, because there's some people that believe that the only reason why people are really, really talking about the oil is because it's now closer to Lagos? Do you think that's what is causing the outrage, or is it the sorrow, the deep sorrow people are feeling, or is it because this time around there are babies there?
So I think that I don't think it's because of proximity,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that you cannot determine how a story touches anybody, right?
Mm.
So it's different for different individuals, right? But I think this one is more painful. Reason being that you have children as young as 2 years old
Mm-hmm.
in there, and
Mm-hmm.
you have a lot of parents on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagining that if they took my child for even
Yeah.
1 hour,
Yeah.
I will. But it's all over.
It's all over.
Do you understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And this is 17 days later,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that Nigerians are frustrated with the way the government
Mm-hmm.
is responding,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it's not to say that the government is not responding, but there's no communication in terms of how they're responding.
Yeah.
So if they're communicating to us, and it's also sensitive because there's also another video that has come out to say, because the bandits are aware that the government has
Right.
communicated
Yeah.
that they're going into the bushes,
Mm-hmm.
they said they're going to kill them.
Yeah.
So it's a dicey and sensitive
Yeah.
scenario where I'm just trying to play the devil's advocate
I
now,
understand.
where for the government that want to do something, they sort of have to do it quote unquote codedly,
Mm-hmm.
because you don't want to let the thief know where you are coming,
Mm-hmm.
for lack of a better word,
Mm-hmm.
right? But on the other end, for us, for lack of a better word, as spectators, right? We are not fully in control of the information and what's going on behind the scenes in terms of a rescue effort.
Mm-hmm.
In my own opinion, I think that it shouldn't take this long,
Mm-hmm.
right? We can utilize the villagers within that community in terms of information, people that know the bushes well, know the areas well. It shouldn't take 17 days. You understand? If we want to act like as Nigerians, it's so easy for us to want to do things the modern way and the Western way. If it was the United States of America, within one day they would have dropped a bomb somewhere and
Mm-hmm.
killed all the bandits.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? So it's frustrating that uh, it's 17 days and we're still here,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah, I do agree with you. I do, because no, God forbid bad thing. I'm just no, I refuse to picture anything. You can send your text messages to 0703 1756 537 or 08155917917 to contribute to this conversation on today being Global Parents Day, and where we at with the kids, these babies that have been abducted in Oyo State. And today we are with the CEO of Women Radio, Mrs. Aramide Adeji Ajay, and she's been, weighing in, giving her own 2 cents basically on what how she feels as a parent, what the government needs to do, how it needs to act better. Now, last week, I don't know if you're familiar with, there's a particular, what's his name, influencer who apparently, that's very dark man, who apparently had doctored, well, he didn't. Turns out that it was even a fake. There was this back and forth about it. And what was surprising for me was the president what's his name, special advisor, his name, while his name has disappeared from my head, I was about to say his name. He came out and said the full weight of the law is going to come on him and things like that. And I thought it was very interesting because I did not hear that vim, that energy did not come when these babies were taken.
Yeah.
So for me, it feels like we major on the minor and minor on the major a lot
Yeah.
in Nigeria, because as a parent, even if somebody came to take my child, I remember there was a time I was at church and there was a recording being done in church. I couldn't find my child. And they said, "Oh, you are making noise." I said, "As how?" This was after service. So you know how churches now do content creation and stuff like that. And I didn't understand why they were telling me, "Oh, you need to be quiet because there's a recording." I was like, "You don't understand. I
You're
cannot
looking for your
find my
child.
child."
Exactly.
So I scattered everywhere
Yeah.
till I could find my child, and I made everybody, get involved with it.
Yes.
In my head, as a parent, that's what I would have expected, the presidency to have done, only for it to be that it is when maybe somebody now says, "Oh, this was happening." There's now so much energy and vim. What would you say to that? Like, again, I still think it's a case of majoring on the minor and minor, because even if you look at what's been happening from politicians, nobody's really talking about these babies. It's about the primaries. It's about the election happening.
Yeah.
So I want you to,
So I think as Nigerians, we have a culture of playing it safe. We just want to be in one corner. You get, even though it concerns us and we're pained, all right? We are more worried about how we are projected. Do you understand? How would this make me feel if I say this about the government today and tomorrow I come out and say I want to be the next governor? Will this be used against me? Right. So there's that aspect as well with regards to that. Nigerians, we are extremely careful, and that is why people like the very dark man is, although I'm not in alignment
I'm not either
with his way, but he has some kind of respect because he does not conform to the status quo. Like, he wants to be that advocate for change and all that. So as Nigerians, I think that we need more people that are bold enough to speak out what they say in their rooms. You understand what I'm saying? I think that we need to cultivate that habit of going out there, and protesting freely. You understand? The last time we had a protest that was very collaborative ended up being,
tragic.
Exactly. That's the word I was looking for. So Nigerians, and I say we're just trying to play it safe. You understand? Because at the same time, you don't want to overdo or go past your power. You understand what I'm saying? I just pray that we get to a stage where we are less mouth and more action.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to switch gears a bit because I feel like we've been so serious.
Yeah.
Did parenting make you see your parents differently, being a mom? And I want you to just give us like examples.
Definitely. In terms of understanding, because I have two kids, right? And in terms of understanding, so growing up, I always felt like my brother was treated differently. Treated differently in the sense that he got away with more things. You understand? He got more gifts. He got more that.
Because he's a boy or last
Not
born
because
or
he's a
oldest.
boy, but for me, I think because I've already been like, I didn't need any push.
Okay.
Do you understand what I'm saying? I've always already been that go-getter.
Okay.
So I've always been positioned as that child that doesn't really need anything. You understand?
Right.
But I've learned, from my parents' perspective, that you give more attention to the child that needs the attention,
Mm-hmm.
not because they love the second child less.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? It's just peradventure that, this child just needs more attention due to certain circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's made me see the treatment from my parents as not like, oh, they don't love me less, or as though they love the other child more,
Mm-hmm.
right? But as a situation where this child just needs more attention now. You understand? And it's also made me, appreciate like sacrifices that our parents had to make so that we can have that extra piece of meat. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So back to your question, I do appreciate my mom more, right? But looking at my kids, I'm like, I'm not sure I did this to my parents, and stuff. But yeah.
Are you the parent that beats, or are you? So people mistake gentle parenting for
Yeah.
permissive parenting, and I'm like, there's a permissive is that you're just allowing the child just run.
So I don't beat
Okay.
my children,
Mm-hmm.
right? But my gentle parenting can go from 0 to 100%.
You have to explain.
Yeah. Okay. So I can be gentle,
Mm-hmm.
and when I see that this gentleness is it's not
You.
I start to scream. Start to
Please.
scream, and I'm the face the wall mommy.
Okay. And they listen.
And they listen.
Okay.
And they listen. And I'm the threatening mommy. So I
Oh.
use like things like, okay, you're not gonna go outside to play,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or this pencil, because my children are very into pencils and erasers and sharpeners, and they like to change their different sharpeners and their pencil cases. So I can say, right, I'm not going to give you a new pencil today.
Okay.
So I threaten them with things that they like to do.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Okay. And are you that you hearing that you're screaming? Because my daughter's always like, though she says I've reduced it,
Yeah.
that I don't scream as much. Okay, but what would be, before we go, because we've run out of time, what would be your final word, to the government about these kids in captivity, and even to parents
Yeah.
out there?
Right. To parents, right? I would say, we should take it a little bit easy.
Yeah.
Or easier.
Mhm.
Right. At the end of the day, they're children, and we probably did worse, during our time and stuff. And to the government, I'm just praying that behind the scenes things are actually getting done, because I don't believe any government would, see this and not just care. There has to be some things that are being done that we are not seeing, right? And I'm just praying to God that these children, they return to their parents in good states. You understand? Because I haven't been liking all the pictures and videos. No child or teacher, should go through that.
Thank you so much, CEO Ma. Coming to today was very serious. I hope to bring you back again at
Thank
some
you so
point.
much for
I'll look
having
for
me.
a juicy topic that I
No
know that
problem.
I'll be able to get
No problem. I'll be
from
very
you.
happy.
Yes, but this was lovely, really, really lovely. So, on that note, this is the end of Big Question on Women Radio WFM 91.7. You just heard the voice of our CEO on the Big Question this afternoon. You can send me a message to say, "Oh, I want her to come back," and we shall bring her back ASAP. On that note, thank you so much, man, for coming on the program.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, shit. This is the Women Radio 91.7. Stick around with us because we have great programming, great music for you today. Don't go anywhere. My name is Fumi Bangala.